There's been a lot of conversation lately about which teams are selling, which teams aren't selling, what's going on. Obviously, we already saw TSM sell, and I made predictions around this stuff. I figured it'd be kind of fun to make what I think is a system by which we can discuss the likelihood that a team will sell or is likely to sell in the near future. And then you, my dear viewers, can invest accordingly in terms of your fandom and all that stuff. This video is sponsored by Alienware, and it should be a fun one. But please stick around afterwards to learn a little bit more about some Alienware products, and check out the link in the description to see their products as well. So, I'm trying to come up with a system, and I wanted some sort of abbreviation because all good scores have something. And Drew suggested this one. I don't know what it means, but it's the TGI Gafford's Yield Analysis of Team Transfers, or the GYAT score. So the TGI GYAT score is what we're going to be using from here on out to discuss the likelihood that a team will transfer. So we also have the score system that Drew will display on screen right now. The way that the GYAT score works is that it's ranked 1 through 5, with 5 being coldest and least likely to sell, essentially, and 1 being the hottest. So we're going to start at the bottom, 5, and we're going to rank up from there. So number 5 is pretty easy. We obviously have NRG and Shopify there. They were both two teams that just bought in over the course of this year, so I think they are very unlikely. And quite frankly, I also am putting Team Liquid there because it is really hard for me to imagine this team selling. They've just been around forever. Everything I know about their finances and stuff and the way that the organization is structured, their investors and all that stuff, I just don't see them leaving anytime soon. And I should say, by the way, that I'm coming up with the score of this stuff just based off of many different things. What my understanding of the team, rumors, the market, finances, all these different things, they all kind of combine for me to create this sort of amorphous TGI GYAT score. Okay, so 5 Energy, Team Liquid, Shopify. Number four. I'm putting FlyQuest here. And I think some folks might be like, shouldn't FlyQuest be number 5? And I say to you, did you see their season? I don't think they're likely to sell. That's why they're only down to 4. But if you told me that those investors, that the sports team that bought in, they looked at this and they're like, wow, we've already lost so much value, because they definitely bought in at more than 10 million, and that's what the rumored Shopify deal is at. If they're like, oh god, we got to get out of here, it's it's a race to the bottom or something, and we had this terrible year and this is not fun, I could see it. So that's why I put them a little bit above 5. Number 3, which is room temperature. This is Cloud9. I should be clear, I don't think that Cloud9 is likely to sell. I think that the difference is that they feel to me a little different than these other teams, in that they didn't just buy in, and they don't have sort of the really big structure, and the financial backing is a little bit different. I guess I put them here because if I woke up one random Tuesday and I saw an article in Bloomberg or a Sports Business Journal or New York Times that Cloud9 had sold their LCS spot, or maybe the entire team, to some random rich organization or something like that, and Jack was like, I'm fucking done. That Cloud9 subreddit is just too annoying. Get me out. I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's just a bit of a different situation than the other 4 teams that I've mentioned previously, and I don't want Cloud9 fans to come after me for saying that, but I think they probably will anyway. Number 2. So I have this tier list here ranked as warm for this. And I'm going to put Dig and 100T there. And I think, ironically, both of these two teams might be a little surprising, because folks might be like, hey, shouldn't both of these be in opposite directions? I feel like a lot of 100T fans think it's less likely that they would sell that spot. I think it's actually more likely than that. I feel like, especially they're in Val, they might feel like they already are super covered there. I think their league stuff has been expensive and tough for them, and I don't really feel like quite frankly, League it's like a little off-brand for 100T, right? Like I feel like they're more of this like FPS sort of, I don't know, that type of game. And I think Valve's a better spot for them, and I could see them just being like, yeah, we'll get out. And I think John Robinson did an interview like a year ago or some point in time where he tweeted where he was like, if you're in this business, you're always looking at what prices are of things around you. And so if the price was right one day, I could definitely see 100T just being like, man, we don't need to be in League. Well, we're in Valve. We're in these other things. We're fine. Then Dig is here. And some folks might be like, well, Dig should be in the number 1 tier. And maybe that's fair. But I just haven't heard much about them looking to sell. And if you just told me that like they are just going to linger for a while and then sell a couple years from now rather than now, like I just feel like there's less urgency there for this organization. Obviously, there's urgency in some sense for all these orgs, especially the ones that are near the top. But I could be wrong. They might sell tomorrow, and then I'll look like an idiot. But I just think they're less likely than these other three. So that leaves us to the hot category. So here I have IMT, EG, and GG. So EG, I feel like, is mostly just a zombie org at this point in time, and they're waiting to sell. There's been a lot of rumors about certain folks coming in, and then you hear rumors afterwards that they like fell through. They seem to be going really, really budget next year from everything I hear about off-season stuff. And as I'm recording this, they just announced there's a bunch of layoffs at that org. So I feel like they're just in a holding pattern until they sell. IMT is an org that I think has probably been looking to sell from shortly after they just got in. I don't know. They just like nothing really came out of this organization the entire time they've been in the LCS the second time. And I gotta feel like they're just one step away. Like maybe it's a world where they're looking and they just can't find a price that they want, and nobody wants to offer them a price because there's nothing really there to acquire other than Spot. Like they don't have much of a brand. They don't have like a winning staff or anything. I don't know. And then Golden Guardians, and I think this one will probably be the most surprising to folks, but Golden Guardians just isn't doing much else in the esports space. They're just kind of, I know they have like some Smash stuff, and they do a couple different things here, but obviously they had like a decent year. I just kind of get the vibe that they are one of those teams you wouldn't expect to necessarily be selling, but probably are looking. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These are the teams. You can see them on screen right now as Drew's putting them up. And yeah, that is the TGI GIAT score system for these teams. We will see how it develops. Maybe I will update this video 6 months from now, and I'll be like, hey, these teams sold, and I was wrong, but now they're at 5, and I've bumped some of these other teams up or something. But we'll just keep updating it and seeing how things go. And if you would like to have your own GIAT score, feel free to put it in the comments. Let us know how you would score these teams using the, what are we calling it again? The Gafford's Yield Analysis Team Transfer Scoring System. So there you go. Maybe it should be called the GIAT Index. I don't know. Thanks so much for watching that video. Before you go, I wanted to show off the new Alienware Aurora R16 desktop. Sharing a space with my roommate, it's always nice to ensure that I'm keeping things quiet while I'm working or gaming. And with its new improved airflow and lower acoustics, my apartment is quieter than ever. All of this while keeping max performance from the hexagonal vents that allow ambient air in. Get yours today at alienware.com/Travis.